All right,
Okay.
yeah. Welcome to Full Time Score with your boy TC Mkhwanazi. I'm back on the YouTube thing again, but these days I'm not working alone. I'm working with
Yeah.
my main man, Sifiso. You know, Sifiso, you and I, we met so many years ago via the phone. I think you were working at one radio station, I was at
Exactly.
another radio station. We just couldn't get it together. But for time, years have gone, we've been talking, communicating, and maybe now finally we can get something going together, man. So I'm I'm
Yeah.
I'm blessed, man, and I'm happy that I'm working with you now, man. Thank you for joining me, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to the viewers for viewing your channel. And I'm also one of your viewers. I've been viewing your channel
Hey, man, look, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years
yeah,
since I
there's a
sent a
lot of discovery that I made.
yeah, but it's been 2 years since I sent something out. So this is the first one, and you're in it. So thanks for for being there, and thanks for being for
Exactly.
viewing, man. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Let's I know you're a big Kaizer Chiefs fan, so I wanna get that going now. We had a big match this weekend.
yeah.
We had a huge match.
Uh,
Yeah, I wanna know what your
yeah, we
feeling
had a
about
huge
that
match.
game was. Yeah.
Yeah, Prathabang. Firstly, I want to apologize to the Kosi fans. With the excitement of getting a new coach, I think it went over our heads, and it was something that because we were desperate of getting a coach and we're desperate to see change in Kaizer Chiefs for so many years. But one would say is a right step is a first step to the right direction to get a coach like Nabi. It was a very good step to the right direction by getting a coach like Coach Nabi. But I still feel Uguti, man, after Saturday's games, I have a different view when it comes to selecting a coach like Coach Nabi. I do have so many questions about the man, about the guy. What is his plan about the Kaizer Chiefs? What is he? Where is he taking the team? Because at some point we have to go there. We have to ask ourselves those critical questions as Amakosi fans. Where is Coach Nabi taking us? And because we have to be realistic with ourselves. If you want to see change, you have to be realistic about the challenges you're going to face when you want to see change happening. But I think we are still have a long way to go. Coach Nabi still have a very, very long way to go. Because after that game on Saturday, he was so much exposed in so many elements. Defensively, in the midfield, up front, players were not connecting at all. They were not connecting at all. And there was no direction. There was no way you could say Kaizer Chiefs was doing something in that game.
Yeah.
Firstly, he played Usamgel Uzwani, in the midfield against the likes of Obas, against Mukwena. You don't do that, man. I think you can't play Samgelo Uzwane, a young player who's promising with his talent. But you can't play Uzwane against one of the world-class midfielders in South Africa.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have to say that not only in South Africa but in Africa, Umkwena is one of the best midfielders.
Hmm.
He's one of the best defensively and offensively as well. He's amazing. He's amazing. And I still have a question which I think we're going to discuss along the way. Yaguti, why Umangoba had problems with that boy, Umukwena. But nevertheless, you are talking about Kaizer Chiefs, but I just want to raise that because it's so important. It's crucial for me to raise that.
Hmm.
Because if you can look at Usamgelo Zwane playing against, okay, yes, Obas, I did have questions about Obas. Why is that Obas? But Obas proved himself in that game, in that big game. But you play Usamgolo Zwane in a game against in front of 90 plus supporters,
Hmm.
and you want him to deliver something for you. And it was a big stage for him. It was a big stage for him, and he was exposed with that Eastern pass. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do such huge mistake in such a huge game. And he caused the Kaizer Chiefs. He caused the Kaizer Chiefs big time. We just have to be honest with ourselves. There are so many players that cost the Kaizer Chiefs. There are so many players that cost the Kaizer Chiefs in that game. Frosler was exposed. You can't push so high against the Mamelodi Sundowns. You expose yourself ngabo Alende, you expose yourself ngabo Mudiba, you expose yourself ngabo Shalulile when you go that high against Mamelodi Sundowns. That line was very high against Mamelodi Sundowns. You don't do that. They will expose you. Rivero is quick. Rivero is amazing. One of the best players in the country currently. And I still feel Uguti, Kaizer Chiefs, still has a lot of work to do. They still have a lot of work to do. Bradley Cross, he was all over. He was not clicking. He was not clicking. He's also overlapping as well. Frosler is overlapping. Costa is overlapping. They are costing us a game. They are exposing Udotli still young. Miguel is okay. I can say Miguel maybe is new in South African football, but he's experienced. He's experienced, and he has to know better. He has to guide the boy better. He has to guide Udotli better and give him more knowledge and experience. And maybe he can be a man marker and Udotli be a sweeper. I don't know, or vice versa. Maybe deal with Ushalulile. One of you deal with Ushalulile because Shalulile was key to make Urena shine. He was key to make Urena shine. He was key to make Rivero shine. He was key to make Aliende shine. So as they are playing a diamond, it was easy for Ushalulile to be able to find those people every time he gets the ball. And one of the goals came from Rivero that exposed Miguel and that exposed Udotli. So what I think about Unabi, what I think about Kaizer Chiefs, I'm not confident about Kaizer Chiefs, Bratabang. And I'm not confident at all. Because if you want to say if you say you are ready to perform in the PSL, then you have to beat Sundowns.
Yeah.
I have to say that. You have to beat Mamelodi Sundowns if you say you are ready.
You kind of make a point at the end there that Sundowns is the standard for the PSL currently, because you look at Pirates, they spend a lot of time chasing Sundowns, and now they feel like they are there with Sundowns. And you look at the log, it tells you the same thing. Or Pirates is there with Sundowns now, and Kaizer Chiefs seem to be very far from those two teams. Particularly in this case, we're talking about Sundowns. They are very, very far away from Mamelodi Sundowns, and it was clear on Saturday. You know, I am very worried about Kaizer Chiefs as well. I think Coach Nabi came in, there was a lot of expectation, there was a lot of excitement, as you said. The starting performances were good. I remember that the previous game against Sundowns, we all cried about the ref. You know, Chiefs did well in that game, but they didn't win. But it was mostly because of the ref, as everybody put it. And since that performance, I haven't seen Kaizer Chiefs really improve. I thought from that they will build on, but they haven't really improved. They got that 4-0 against SuperSport. Okay, that was a good result. I think they had a 3-1 against Amazulu, also another good result. But the performances after that have been shaky. Magezi last week, they celebrated 2 goals in 2 minutes. Then Saturday comes in, and Saturday is a complete disaster. You know, first of all, tactical discipline was lacking in the team. I'm not even sure what was the plan. Yeah, you mentioned Lucas Ribeiro. You would think Kaizer Chiefs would want to put someone on him and say, let's rather man mark. I know it's not something done in modern day football, but they could have sacrificed one player and say, man mark that guy. Because Sundowns without Themba Zwane, there's something lacking in that final third. Those final passes, those final crosses that Themba Zwane does, they are lacking when he's not there. So you could have wanted someone to maybe try and man mark Lucas Ribeiro, in my view, try to get him out of the game or try to limit his overall play in the game, but they didn't do that. They seemed to ignore it. And then, as you mentioned, midfield, Kaizer Chiefs midfield is a problem. It's been a problem for a long time. And I think it's easy to ignore it when you've got Userinho carrying the midfield for so long. Some of your fellow fans, they complain about Mart. I don't know what Mart did to people, but they complain about the lack of quality in use of Mart. I also look at, you mentioned Zwane. I was thinking about him a lot the last couple of days, man. I'm not happy with him. There's just something, Sifiso, that bothers me, and I don't want to criticize someone because I don't know Zwane like a person. I don't know him like I know you. But one thing I criticize about Zwane is he carries this. It looks like arrogance to me. I suppose it's his confidence. the way he passes the ball, the way he walks. There's just something about it that says to me, I'm happy that he's confident. You want to see people being confident in their ability. And he is an extremely talented football player. But if he really wants to make that transition from being a talented player to being a great football player, in the case of Chiefs, if he really wants to hit the levels that we've seen with previous players, Bo Dr. Kumalo, Bo Thabo Moki, and those legends, there's a lot of improvement that needs to be done on the field. I have no problem with his confidence. And I have no problem with how he wants to play the game, but he needs to be better in some areas. And is it a lack of experience or is it just arrogance from him, that mistake? Because it's the second time he does a mistake like that. I think if you remember the Toyota Cup in Bloemfontein, he did something similar. He lost the ball there, if I'm not mistaken. And then, they scored. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But I've seen him do these type of things where he passes the ball blindly. He tries a no-look pass. He tries a finesse pass where it's not necessary. He loses possession. He puts his team under pressure. In this case, he concedes a penalty. He needs to improve. And the nice thing about Kaizer Chiefs where they are now, you mentioned the coach is there. I think they've got time. Something Pirates and Sundowns don't have. He's got time. Right now, Chiefs are playing their next game on the 27th of November. They've got 3 weeks off. No games. They can sit with these players, do all the tactical work, all the individual work. They've got time because they're not playing in so many cups and so many tournaments currently. So they need to use this time to work on these players. But then I'll say this, especially for all the younger players that are up and coming in Kaizer Chiefs, Sam Kelozwanes, and Nkosingipile Ngobo, Happy Mashiani, Bruce Vuma, those type of guys that have been around for a while, but not doing well. Those guys are going to be under the pressure now. My reason for that is Coach Nabi has shown that if you're not up to the quality that he wants, he's going to get rid of you. If some Kelozwan has not improved by the end of this season, he might not be at Chiefs next season. Same as Nkosingipile Ngo, same as Happy Mashia, same as Bruce Vuma, and many other of those players there that have been there, didn't win trophies, didn't do well. Coach Nabi has now come in. He didn't get rid of them yet. He's giving them time. If they don't improve, they will not have jobs. And then we can't say anything about it. Because sometimes players need to also show improvement. It's not just the coach. Yes, the coach plays an integral part. But players also must have that individual hunger, that individual motivation to improve. And I think it's been one of the issues in the culture of Kaizer Chiefs in recent years that players go to Chiefs, they don't improve. Players come from academy being superstars, they get to the first team, they don't improve anymore. And I hope Zwane does not fall into that trap. I personally call it the Pule Extien trap. You remember that guy, Hendrik Extien? I think he used to wear number 27. He had potential his whole career.
Yeah.
If you remember him, he was at Chiefs for a long time, probably 6-7 seasons. And then he went to Europe and came back. But my point is, he was there for long. We kept hearing about this guy's potential. Then he would come 1-2 game, flash, then disappears. You get me? I really don't want to see many more Chiefs younger players go through that where it's some Kelozwan, it's Nkosingipile Ngo. Oh, they have potential. Oh, there's so much potential. One do potential. But you don't see them become great players like we used to back then. 20 years ago, it used to be like that. Young player, potential, great player the next day. Now it's not happening at Kaizer Chiefs. And I hope Sam Kelozwane, for his sake, not to criticize him, but I hope he improves and gets better and better and better. Now, I want to ask you, Sifiso, where do you see Kaizer Chiefs going from here? Where do you go from here if you're Coach Nabi? Do you pick up the phone, call Bongani Zungu, come help me out in midfield? What can you do? What can he do to make the team better immediately so that at least they can get a respectable finish in the league and get a respectable and maybe win or challenge for Nedbank Cup?
It's a very difficult question, the one you're asking me, Pratava. It's a very difficult question. I don't know how to answer that question, but I'll try. Because, it's very tough. What is happening in the Kaizer Chiefs is not a matter of, I don't think it's the matter of, the challenge with Kaizer Chiefs players is the matter of confidence. We can speak about their low performance. You can speak about how they do things and whatnot, the mistakes that they do. It's only about the confidence. Maybe bring in experienced players like Uzungu, I would do that as a coach Nabi. I would swallow my pride, go after a player like Uzungu, because Kaizer Chiefs lost a player like Uchar. I think those are the players that were needed to call a player that who can play 1 or 2 seasons. Yes. And he brings in something to Kaizer Chiefs so that those young boys can learn. Because Kaizer Chiefs is a young Kaizer Chiefs. It's a young Kaizer Chiefs. There's not too much experience there. And that experience, they need it. They truly need experience in Kaizer Chiefs, especially in the spine, especially in the spine. When you talk about the spine, you talk about that good center back. You talk about that good midfielder. You talk about that quality striker. Then you have your spine. Then the rest is history. They just combine. They just work along that combination. Then they will perform for you. But for now, it's a disaster in the making. How do you bring back the confidence in these players? That's the first thing. That's the first thing. Before you can go and get a player that can make changes in Kaizer Chiefs, they need to bring confidence in that camp. They need to bring confidence in that camp. And then it's unfortunate they don't have experienced players to bring that and to motivate the players to say, we can do this, we can do this. You mentioned Imagezi, Prataba. If we can't challenge Imagezi, then what can we do with Sundowns? What can we do against Orlando Pirates? If we can't match Mackenzie? And it's tough. It's tough. You know, I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan, but I'm mentioning this because of I think we need to finally face the reality. Maybe people may think I sound somehow, but I have to be honest with myself. I have to be honest as I can say, maybe if you can say for football wise, yes, maybe I can use the word football wise. I think I can mention that and say, talking about football wisdom, I can say it's high time we become realistic with Kaizer Chiefs. But I think before you go and find another player to come and add, or find another experienced player to come and add in Kaizer Chiefs, you need to find a way to build the confidence of the players. And then after building that confidence of the players, then we can talk about going out and finding that quality player that can make. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense.
It makes sense, 100%.
Because
I get you.
Because the confidence, they need to find confidence elsewhere. It's unfortunate they'll be playing again in the 27th. It's a very long time. Because now to say to the fans, this is the mistake we did, we are rectifying it. They are going to be angry for a long time now, the fans of Kaizer Chiefs, and they will wait for that game up until that game comes and finally comes. And if they lose it again, it's another question. Are we ready? Will we ever get there? So it's the issue of saying, I don't know what we told the confidence, but build the confidence of the boys. Tell them something that will motivate them to face another game, or else we are done. There are quality players that Kaizer Chiefs can go out there and get. And sometimes, Prataba, I used to blame players not coming to Kaizer Chiefs, players not going to Kaizer Chiefs, and why are not going to Kaizer Chiefs. Unfortunately, now I see why. Because you can see Kaizer Chiefs, you said something about Sundowns having pressure and Orlando Pirates having pressure. Unfortunately, Kaizer Chiefs also has pressure. As much as we are building, as much as we have a new coach, we are starting afresh, we are trying to fix it, but there is pressure. Kaizer Chiefs is a big team in South Africa. It's one of the well-respected teams in the country and almost the rest of the world. But there is pressure. Whether we like it or not, we are under, like the coach is under pressure. The first day he came in to coach Kaizer Chiefs, he is under pressure. We have to accept that. And the sooner we accept who they are under pressure, then the better. Because of now, that's why these players are not joining Kaizer Chiefs, because all this pressure will come onto them. Kaizer Chiefs lost Umayo. They're supposed to sign Umayo. Why not? They're supposed to sign Mkhwanazi. They didn't sign him. They're supposed to sign Apolis. They didn't sign Apolis. Why? Because those players, I think, with my understanding or the way I see things, they are afraid of the pressure to come. You play for a Kaizer Chiefs, you have to deliver, man. Whether the team is doing bad or what, they will count on you. They will have to count on you to build the team or to lift up the team and until the team goes somewhere. So I feel no. And it's about building the confidence of the players, bringing it back, trying to come up with a plan, another plan that he can come up with just to motivate the players so that they can come to the level. Yeah, but when it comes to the question of they need to sign, Kaizer Chiefs need to sign. Firstly, the first thing that Kaizer Chiefs need to sign, they need to find a quality striker. Kaizer Chiefs, do they have a striker? They do have a striker in...
It's Ranga Chibaviro and...
what do you call?
Actually,
Chibaviro. But... Exactly. But, man, that's not enough, man. You need a bulldozer. You need someone who will go there and fight. Go there and fight for the team. Someone you know that he has a record in scoring goals. They lost a player, this player who was playing for Kaizer Chiefs, Upiano. Nikovic. Why don't you go back and get Nikovic? Such strikers, you need such strikers in Kaizer Chiefs. And it's painful, Uguti. Unfortunately, we can't get him now. He's playing for SuperSport. But I think they need to get a quality striker. They need to get a quality midfield. And I'm talking about an experienced campaigner. Someone at least who has a record in PSL. Like Uzung, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Just to wrap up this section, Pedro. Yeah. You know, I've heard in interviews on other radio shows and stuff. Guy like Mokoto came through. He said he was interested, but because of what had happened with guys like Abu Doli and other players who'd come from Europe and signed for Chiefs and it didn't work.
Yes.
They put him in that bracket to say, we're not interested. And probably Bongani Zungu falls into the same category where they've signed a lot of ex-Mamelodi Sundowns players. They signed the whole CBD. You know, they signed quite a few players on the free from Sundowns after Sundowns released them. And none of them worked.
Yes.
So they probably have the same, you want to say, a stigma attitude towards these type of players to say, hey, if we sign you guys from Sundowns or from Europe, you're not going to do much for us. We're just going to pay you big salaries. You're not going to perform. And then we move on. But as you said, Chiefs is a different club. I myself, I'm not a Chiefs supporter. I just love the game of football, but I'm a Sundowns supporter, big Sundowns supporter. And we know South African football revolves around Kaizer Chiefs, bro. And the pressure for Chiefs is bad because I imagine if you played for Chiefs as an individual, you can't be normal anymore as a person. You can't go to the mall to buy groceries or whatever. You can't. You're gonna have your DMs flooded with messages from fans, everything. It's a different type of pressure than when you're playing it. Let's say with respect to you were playing for Golden Arrows or Amazulu or Royal EM. You don't get that type of pressure. No one knows you. But once you play for Chiefs, one game, 2 minutes for Kaizer Chiefs, the pressure is very different. Everybody knows who you are. You'll go to the mall, you will go for petrol there, everybody knows you. So what you're saying is 100% true, man. The pressure at Chiefs is different from other clubs. And I think sometimes it transcends in a negative way onto the field because now the players are feeling every kick. They are feeling every little thing. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Now, I want to move on to the next thing I want to ask, man. What do we make of this Mamelodi Sundowns team now under Mangoba? You mentioned already, he seems to have sorted out his issues with Tebogo Mokoena and Khuliso Mudau. What do you make of their performance on Saturday? You've already spoken a little bit, but I just want a bit more detail. What do you make of that performance on Saturday? And also the Sundowns team, where can it go, especially in this Carling knockout? How far can they go? Can they go all the way? Or maybe then Malesela Tlaba over the weekend?
Ngesizulu they say let's go.
No, I get you. Heads off. Yeah.
I take off my head for Mamelodi Sundowns. You know, man, what a performance. One of the best performance Mamelodi Sundowns in a long time now. I think it's been a while to see such a performance by Mamelodi Sundowns. First of all, I'd like to appreciate Obas. What a player.
Yeah.
What a player. He was amazing. People talk about Rivero, people talk about other players, but I want to talk about Obas, the combination with him and Mkhwanazi, Allende. You know, It was amazing. Going forward, drifting back, they were so. The pattern was excellent. The line was proper. Umangoba, the strategy that he used there, it was amazing. The diamond strategy that he used, combining, like I said, your Shalulile had so many options. He looks on the right, he had at the end there, he looks on the left, he has the Rivero, those that combination, man. And you add on top with Urenas, man. Renas is one of the best strikers and one of the most underrated strikers in South Africa.
Very
And I
underrated.
feel Uti Urenas, yes, very underrated, and he's still yet to prove us wrong. Most of us wrong. I used to undermine Urenas. Forgive me, but I used to say, he's one of those. He will punch one day. He will punch. But when he went to Sundowns, I criticized him a lot and said, no, he can't go to Sundowns. He's not ready. But he just got there and just linked so nicely with Rivero, so linked so nicely to Shalulile. The combination play in up front is amazing. The combination play in the midfield, especially in the heart of the middle between Obas and Mkhwanazi. Mkhwanazi, man, he's a box-to-box player. He can go forward, he can come back. He can do things for himself without depending on Obas as well. And I thought maybe you guys, when you lost Uzwan, it's going to be a problem, especially playing against Kaizer Chiefs. When they lost Uzwan, Zwan, but it was not even seen. It was not even noticed because of the quality that is there in Mamelodi Sundowns. And Mamelodi Sundowns is a team that is not recognized, unfortunately. And I don't know why. I don't know why Mamelodi Sundowns is not recognized. I don't know why Mamelodi Sundowns is not respected. They deserve the respect. Tabang, you guys took the league 7 times, man. Why can't you get the credit for 7 times? Come on, man. There has to be a credit there. There has to be some credit. And I think if anyone could, if a child right now is looking at Sundowns, he would not recognize the Kaizer Chiefs in Orlando Pirates to be there, to be honest. At this age, because of how they perform. Because Kaizer Chiefs was playing against I heard Junior Kanye talking about the national team, and it was like that, playing against quality, playing against one of the top midfielders in the previous AFCON, Mkhwanazi, one of the top left back, Mudiba, one of the top right backs for me in South Africa, Umudau. He even scored a goal, man. Come on. It was so nice to see him scoring a goal because he's always contributing in those goals going forward. And it was so nice for him to score a goal. And after the scandal he had with Umangoba, they proved Umangoba, you need us. You need us. And he needs to let those players play. He needs to give them the freedom to play for their club because they want to play. You can see they are playing with a smile and they want to play. And why not keep them? Because of those players are there to help the younger ones. They are there to help the younger ones and to show them it can be done. Abu Masego, they are here to help the younger ones that are there in Kaizer Chiefs, in Mamelodi Sundowns, to motivate them to say, you can do this, guys. And I want to talk about Williams. He didn't do nothing there because there was nothing to do. There was nothing to do. Musalibusa, there was nothing to do there. There was nothing to do there. And you can't speak about defense that much because there was absolutely nothing to do there because Kaizer Chiefs was all over. They didn't know what to do. When they were attacking, they didn't know what to do. When they're defending, they were exposed. And Mamelodi Sundowns was world-class. And they were playing against a world-class team in Africa currently. And one of the best teams in South Africa currently. And if a people oversee, they talk about Kaizer Chiefs, they talk about Orlando Pirates, they need to look at Sundowns at some point. I don't know how, but they need to look at Sundowns and say, this is the world-class team.
No, I fully 100% agree what you say, man. Like, just before the game, I always like to look at the starting lineup before the game, especially this season of Sundowns because you never know what the starting lineup is. And I saw that starting lineup. I saw Williams, I saw Modawe, I saw Mvala, Kekana, Mudiba, Obas, and Mokoena, and I saw Allende. Just that group of players before even getting to the front three. I was like, nah, this is the Sundowns we want to see. This is what, as a fan of the game of Sundowns at the club, I want to watch that team because those guys that I just mentioned, without the exception of Allende, they are Bafana players. And with the exception of Mutusu Ubas, they've got bronze medals from AFCON. For the first time in 24 years, they got South Africa a medal recently. I think it was in Ivory Coast. So my point is, those players need to play. Unless there's injury or suspension or something else, those guys need to play every game. And once you play those guys, most coaches in the PSL, 100% of the coaches outside of Sundowns, they would want all those players in their team every week. And we have that luxury. We are blessed to have those type of players. We are blessed to have the coaching we've had, not just now, but with Coach Pizzo, with Coach Hulani, who's now gone, and now also Coach Mangob. We have been blessed to have all the time in the world to build this team. We are blessed to have an owner who's willing to spend anything, just as long as we get a win. He's spending all this money. He just wants us to win. So Sundowns are in a very blessed position compared to other teams where our development as a team can be more rapid than of a Chiefs, because we have spending power. Chiefs they have the spending power, but their model of spending is different to Sundowns. Sundowns splash it, Chiefs kind of have to, organize it and structure it a bit differently. So when I put those two together, you can see why Sundowns is always levels ahead currently of other clubs, because spending power. And I don't know why we don't get the respect we deserve. It's like the whole Manchester City story there in England, where because of the money that they spend, people look down on them. But football is won on the pitch, Swiss. You know that. We don't win football matches in the boardroom or here on spaces or conversations. Football is won on the pitch. And on the pitch, Sundowns is one of the best teams in Africa. And in my view, the best team in South Africa currently. So I don't know why we're not getting the respect we deserve, but I don't want to get into that debate because historically, the history of South African football revolves around Chiefs and Pirates. Sundowns don't have a space there because the history of Chiefs and Pirates go back 50, 40 years back or whatever it was long before I was born, man. So it's hard to change that. But in the current history now, we can say from 96 till today, it's been Sundowns' show. And they're going to run with it forever. Now, Saturday in Vedu, I noticed something that I like. That front three you mentioned, Ikram Reyners, Lucas Ribeiro, Shaluli. We were blessed, you and me, to have lived in an era where we saw MSN, Messi, Neymar, Suarez. We saw Firmino, Mane, Salah at Liverpool. We saw Benzema. I think it was Benzema and Ronaldo. I can't remember where the other guy was, but we've seen some front threes in modern day football do so well. And I think Sundowns have kind of found their own. They've had CBD before. It's not the first time we've seen this. They had a CBD, Castro, Dolly, Billiard, and those guys brought home the CAF Champions League 8 years ago. Now they've got this new front three. I liked what they did. They were so cohesive on Saturday. They were passing the ball nicely. Ribeiro, he had the freedom of FNB. And it's not right if you're a Chief support, but for Sundowns, that's what you want to see. You need Ribeiro on the ball because Zwan is no longer there. When Zwan is there, you want Zwan on the ball. But if he's not there, you want Ribeiro on the ball because all his passes were excellent. He was shooting at goal. He was creating space. Shaluli was running at that defense the whole game. And it got worse when Ignacio got his red card. It got worse and worse and worse. There was so much space for Sundowns to operate. It was unstoppable almost. It felt like every time Sundowns gets into the final third, a goal is coming or a shot at goal is coming. And for Chiefs, man, okay, we've spoken about them, but that defense needs a lot of work. Tactically, it needs a lot of work. But I like the fact that Sundowns played the way they played. I think it's a reminder to everybody, Sundowns supporters of Pirates, and every other club that team is not a team that is playing well by accident. They didn't win 7 league titles by luck or by chance or by accident. That football team is strong. That squad is strong. The coaching there, the foundation laid by the previous coaches is strong. These current coaches are building on it and they look like they're building something strong. And if Sundowns play like that every week, they will win the league again for the 8th time in a row. I don't see Pirates stopping them. Chiefs are not going to do anything. Stellenbosch won't do anything. Sundowns will beat every other team, even if they lose to Pirates twice or they lose to Stellenbosch twice in the season. They'll beat every other team and they'll win the league again. And they might even win the CAF Champions League. And they might even win the Kali Knockout now and the Nedbank Cup if they play like that. Very few teams, if any team, maybe with the exception of Pirates and maybe Stellenbosch, can stop Sundowns when they play like that. I know they lost to Polokwane City, but they did not play that team and they did not play like that. But if they play like that from now going forward, Pirates, not Pirates, but Sundowns will win the league for the 8th time. Sifiso, I just want to do another thing. I'm running out of time on this one, so I'm going to send you another link, then we'll just...
Okay. All right, sure. No problem. All right, sure.
Okay, we're back. Sifiso, I just want us to get to the last two topics that we wanted to discuss. I want to ask you about the fans at the stadium. We've seen this new trend this season. I don't know if it's new because it's happened in the past, but the frequency is new where Amajita, they're jumping over the fence, running through security. The other time Sundowns played Chiefs, I think it was at FNB. They threw things at the referees as they were walking off after the game. Then there was a Bafana game. I think straight after that, there was a Bafana game, I think in Kaizer, where every time Bafana people would jump the fence and celebrate with the players. Then there was this weekend where after the penalty, especially Sundowns' first goal by Ikram Reinas, fans came onto the field to start fighting the ref. Let me just get rid of this. Yo, what's going on now? Hey, these things of white people. They started to come onto the field. They start to fight the ref. So I want to know your opinion on this because I know anyone who loves the game of football doesn't like this thing.
Yeah, no, we don't like it and we are not happy about it. It's not professional and it's not a good thing to do. And Pratabang, I think the issue here, you remember what happened between Sundowns and Orlando Pirates and Loftus in that 6-0 defeat.
No, I remembered what? I remember.
So it's not the first thing. It's not the first time. Yeah. Exactly. So it's not the first time such thing happened. But it's one of those. I think it's embarrassing. Actually, it's embarrassing, and especially to other African countries that are watching us, as well as the in Europe and the whole world. Is not a nice thing to see on TV that is happening. And for me, because for me it's not right because when you look at the players that are playing in the field. Is endangering the players. Anything can happen, and a player can get hurt, and it can do damages, which is something that we do not want to the players. Especially if you can look at those people that are playing there, they are there to entertain us at the end of the day, and we don't need to take football personally. It's a game at the end of the day. It's just a game. It is just a game of football, where those players are there to entertain us and we are there to be entertained as fans, to watch the game. Families, we are there with our families and to enjoy ourselves there. And I think South Africa, they need to do something about this. And the security there, the stadiums, they need to beef up the securities. They know what will conspire between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. They know what will happen. The rivalry there is serious. It's serious. Unfortunately, people are taking it personally, which is something that is not supposed to happen. But it is happening. And I think the security need to do their homework. And they need to manage the situation. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do with the fans that are coming on in the field with the behavior that they are doing. But in terms of controlling and managing, I think South Africa, they can do better in games like this. I don't know how they prepare themselves towards prior the games, but they need to prepare even better when it comes to such games. Because it is unfortunately, Kaizer Chiefs versus Sundowns is rivalry. Orlando Pirates versus Sundowns, there's rivalry. Kaizer Chiefs between Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates, there's rivalry there. And I think the the people in the stadium or the security there, they need to do something. They can do better than they did on Saturday. They can do better. They can do better.
I fully agree with you, Sifiso, because I've seen stories in Europe where if Manchester United is playing Man City, the police force, they have serious meetings about fan segregation to avoid. Well, in Europe, they fight in the stands a lot, but they focus a lot on fan segregation, security around those fans, making sure it's more people, more security to protect those fans from each other and to protect the players from the fans. And with us, it's a joke. I mean, if people, Bafana national teams play, people are jumping the fence, and it's a disgrace to us. And one of the things, man, I always fear is that it's very dangerous when people do that, because things can get violent in the stands, and people can get hurt. Innocent people can get hurt sometimes. There are guys they would take their kids, their wives and families to the stadium to watch, because it's a big game. Chiefs is an extremely well supported club.
Big game.
Sundowns is a team that's starting to have more and more supporters. And when they play Chiefs, we know the tension, the rivalry, the intensity of it. People will go there with their kids and their wives to go and allow them to experience a football match of that magnitude. It's a cup game. It's big. It's at FNB. FNB is our national stadium, technically. The FIFA World Cup was hosted. The FIFA World Cup final was hosted at that stadium. So when you take your kids there and your wife there, you want them to experience it, and then 2 or 3 people, they ruin it for everybody by jumping the fence and fighting and all that. And I think it's dangerous, because people are going to get hurt if this continues. And as you're saying, PSL needs to deal with it now. They need to enforce security. They need to speak to clubs. Clubs need to speak to fans as well, because we can't just put it on Kaizer Chiefs. I don't think that's right, because tomorrow could be Sundowns supporters doing the same thing if they lose against Pirates, or if they lose Chiefs. You get me? And it could be Chiefs, it could be Pirates supporters as well if they lose a game that they think they shouldn't lose. So before it becomes a trend and it spreads like wildfire all over the country, I hope the authorities in the country will start addressing this thing, because it's becoming too much of a tendency, and it disturbs the game. The referee had to stop the game on Saturday for 5 minutes. So captains and coaches were being talked to because of fans, and you are disturbing the flow of your own team. They disturb the flow of Kaizer Chiefs, and it disturbed Kaizer Chiefs in a way. And I think at the end of the match, one of them tried to slap the goalkeeper or something. I mean, those guys are human like us, man. You can't attack people. You can't attack people for playing a game, man. They make mistakes. But yeah, we'll hope and see what the PSL does there. Man, as we wrap up, who do you think is going to win the Carling knockout? I think you'll see. Sundowns has got Marumo. So, yeah.
Yes. Sundowns has Marumo, and Mkhwanazi has Richards Bay.
So,
yeah, I think we are going to see Sundowns playing against Mkhwanazi in this one, in the final.
You think Clinton Larsen will pull something special there?
Yes.
For good
days. They have something special. Yes, when Mkhwanazi plays football, they play like they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They play like they have nothing to lose. They go out there, guns blazing, they get a goal, they defend. So they mean business. So I think Pratabang Mkhwanazi will go to the finals with Mamelodi Sundowns. Marumo Gallants is too exposed at the back. If Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns can expose Kaizer Chiefs like that, just imagine what will happen to Marumo Gallants with that defense. They are not organized at the back. They are not well organized at the back, and they are going to be exposed against Mamelodi Sundowns. I think Mamelodi Sundowns will go to the finals, and Richards, maybe Mkhwanazi will win by an odd goal against Richards Bay. It's going to be a tight one. They might win by 1 or 2 goals, but I think it's not going to be too much goals there. I think Mkhwanazi will win against Richards Bay, and it might not be a beautiful win, a convincing win, but Mkhwanazi will win it. And Sundowns will go to the finals and teach Mkhwanazi football and teach them football, how to play football.
Look, man, I agree. Yeah. This Mkhwanazi side has been doing well. I mean, the way they beat Pirates in the first round, I think they were 3-0 up at halftime. Pirates came back second half, but there was not enough. Obviously, now they're there where they are. I think Clinton Larson is doing a good job, man. And Clinton Larson, very underrated coach
very
in
good
this
job.
country.
Very
Extremely.
good job.
You know, even Richards Bay is not
Yes.
bad. I think
Yes. Mm.
Brendan Trutter has got them playing. Even though they're not the most exciting team, that's Richards Bay, but they're not an easy team to beat, and they're
Yeah.
not a walkover. I think I see
Yes.
in that game Magezi and which will be playing on Saturday, Magezi and Richards Bay. I see a draw, and I think Magezi might do it on penalties. You know, the goalkeeper might.
My case is gonna lose it.
It's gonna win on penalties. That's what I'm saying. And then
I think there's a break somewhere there.
oh, sorry, I'm saying Magezi will
Okay.
win on penalties. I think it's gonna be a tight game between Richards Bay and Magezi. I think. I don't think Richards Bay an easy team to break down. So I foresee a
Yeah.
draw. And then the other game, I think Sundowns will win. And the main reason because it's not because Sundowns are that great. They are great, but outside of that, Marumo Gallants, man, they're too open. You know, Coach Dan Malesela wants to play football. He doesn't care about tactical discipline, doesn't care about shutting the back door, he doesn't want to play that type of football. He wants his team to play and he wants his team to go. And if you do that and you give Shaluli, as we've seen, Shaluli, Ribeiro, Ikram Reyners, Marcelo Allende, if you give those guys time and space on the ball, they're going to hurt you, man. They're going to cut you open like I don't know what. They're going to walk through you and they're going to score goals. And I think for that reason, unless Dan Malesela comes up with a different plan in the build-up, but knowing what I know about Raden here and Bloemfontein, they play a certain way. And I don't think he's going to change his way. And he believes in what he does. So I think based on that, and Sundowns are very smart. They are a highly skilled team, a highly skilled technical team. I think Sundowns will win. I don't think it'll be as easy as it was this past weekend, but I think they'll win. And Sundowns will go to the final with my gaze. I think I'm with you on that one. And probably Sundowns will find a way in the final because of because of experience. I think they'll win it based purely on the fact that they've got winning experience, cup winning experience. They've won cups. I know they've only won the league in recent times, but before that, they were winning cups regularly. So I think they've got the cup final experience. And Magezi, Clinton Larson, I don't think they'll have it. And I think Sundowns will take it. Yeah. With that said, man.
Definitely. And and they will be deserving. They'll be deserving to win it.
No, I agree, especially after Saturday's performance.
Definitely.
When one big team beats another big team, and there's no other big team in front of them, you usually expect the big team to go win. Pirates were out first round. Teams are now out. There's only one big team left. It's Sundowns. So by nature, we expect Sundowns to go all the way, and I think they might go all the way. And it would be nice for Coach Mangoba to get his first trophy as their head coach with Fohloza by him and everybody. So it will be nice for them. But I'm not saying they will. Football has no guarantees. We're just predicting, right? We're just basing it on what we see. We're not saying it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, we'll come back here, we'll discuss it, we'll see we were wrong. It's football. We can be wrong.
Definitely.
But just based on what we are seeing, we can make a prediction to think it looks like Sundowns are set to win it. You get me? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but it looks like Sundowns might actually win this cup. But yeah, with that said, man, I want to say thanks again, man, for joining me.
Thank you, sir.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for your patience as well. It was the first time, but I'm hoping we're going to get better and better as we continue, my brother.
Yeah, we'll get better as the time goes. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
No, have a good night. We'll be in touch, my man.
Yeah, you too. You too. Nice one. Nice one.
All right, that ends the show for today. We'll be back again next week.